Conan, what is best in life?
To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
That is good. That is good.
Hello. Welcome to the first episode of Good Cinema. We're reviewing an actual good movie. This was all your idea, Stephanie. So if it goes wrong, I'm blaming you.
Okay, sorry.
I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry.
We got Nerdy Geek is already here. He said, "What are we reviewing today? What are we watching today?" Well, if you can't tell from the background, Apocalypse Now, starring a whole plethora of Hollywood, I guess, A-listers. Yeah, Hollywood A-listers, as you would say.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll show the trailer first. Let's see if I can get this to work, because here lately I've not been having it. If I get kicked out of the stream, you know what happened last time. No, you weren't here, but anyway, last time I got kicked out of it, of my own stream. I don't know how much we're going to get away of playing this trailer, because there is a song by The Doors in it. So we may cut it short at the end. They do have, what is it, Romeo Foxtrot? What do they call that song? The Fly of the Valkyrie. That's in it, but I think that's in public domain. I think we're all right. Yeah. I think we're okay with that one, because I think it's public domain. But so we can play at least part of it. Let's see what happens. If we can play it all, we'll see.
Okay.
All right. We'll just keep talking. What we'll do is I'll play it. And then when it gets to the last of it, when he starts playing the Doors song, we might just turn it down. All right. I think that's probably the best thing to do.
Man, terminate.
I love the smell of napalm.
Very obviously, he has gone insane.
This is the end.
Oh, I'm afraid I get kicked out. Okay. Okay. Or we're going to get in trouble. I'm probably already in trouble.
Is this a fast forward scene?
So there you go.
Uh-oh. Okay. I'm sure Matt's going to be right back. I'm sure he had some technical difficulties. Yeah. Let's say hi to the chat. Nerdy Geek. What's up? We already said hi to you. Aaron Squirkun is long ass movie. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm back. Sorry, I told you it was going to happen. So no more sharing videos from YouTube today.
Okay.
There was also in Taylor said he's only seen.
We'll just reenact the scenes.
Taylor said he's never seen it. I don't believe that.
I know. I'm like,
I don't believe that at all.
like,
Unless you've been on a rock.
how long have you been living life, Taylor? Come on, like really, you should.
You're pretty old, bro. You
find out.
All right. Well, first off, scene one. Here we're going to reenact it. I will be Martin Sheen. She can be Marlon Brando, and then no, I better be Marlon Brando. I'm kind of chubby, so. I'm not going to share it, but I'm going to read the Wikipedia. This movie stars It's directed by Francis Ford Coppola. It was written by Francis Ford Coppola and John Milius, who actually, yes, he wrote Red Dawn and Conan the Barbarian, and he wrote. You remember the scene in Jaws, Madam, when they're talking about
Yes.
the USS Indianapolis and how they think of the Marguerite and his buddies. I miss that.
Oh.
You never, okay. Well, see, you don't have to watch the whole thing because we'll just tell you all about it. And it's no worry, T-Dubs.
The Cliff Notes here.
Okay, it stars. This is this list of people. It's narrated by Michael Herr, but it stars Marlon Brando, Robert Duvall, Martin Sheen, Frederick Forrest, Albert Hall, Sam Bottoms, Lawrence Fishburne, who was called Larry Fishburne back then, and
who is
Dennis Hopper.
unrecognizable.
And also, and Lawrence Fishburne is like 17 years old in this movie. This was like one of his first movies.
It doesn't look
he
like it.
cast for it because they needed a young guy. Now, this movie had a lot of production problems. At one point, Martin Sheen replaced. Actually, you know who was originally cast to play Willard was
Harrison Ford?
No, it was Harvey Keitel.
Oh.
And they didn't like the way the way he approached it, so they fired him. Then they got Martin Sheen to take over, and then in the middle of production in the Philippines, Martin Sheen had a heart attack and had to be sent back to Los Angeles. And
intense.
the movie was, and then Brando took $1 million, and they didn't know if he was going to show up or not. He was 2 weeks late to come on the set, and he was so overweight that if you notice how they film him all in the shadows in the film.
Yes.
You never see him really from the waist down.
Right.
Well, it's because he couldn't fit in the Green Beret. They were wanting to wear the Green Beret uniform, but he was too big to fit in it.
Oh.
So they had him in the black pajamas that the VC wore and filmed him in the shadows.
I think they did. I think it looks better in the shadows.
I think it added to it. It's the same. Yeah. There is a young Harrison Ford in it. He's got like a cameo basically at the first of it when he's getting ready to get his mission. So basically this movie is based on a novella from 1899 called Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. And in the original one, it takes place in the 19th century Congo. And there's this trader that works for back then Africa was colonized by all these European countries, right?
Right.
And these guys would set up outposts, and he was in charge of this outpost for, I can't remember if it was Denmark or somewhere, or one of these countries. And they sent this guy to find Kurtz. They just called him Kurtz because they hadn't made contact with him in months, and they were afraid that he went insane or gone native, which is what happens to Marlon Brando, who plays Colonel Kurtz in this movie. And you notice, so they sent him on this mission to kill the guy, but he's being sent to kill his own guy, right, Stephanie? He's like, This is one of our own guys. Why am I killing this guy? And it's like the further they get into the jungle, the deeper they get down that river, the stranger things get. I don't know if everybody's seen the Redux version of this, but there's like almost 2 hours of extra scenes. Like you see a scene where they're at this rubber plantation that was owned by the French colonizers, who were the ones that the Vietnamese kicked out. That's why we got involved. There was I can't remember the name of that massacre, but they massacred an entire French army. They had them surrounded, and they didn't think the North Vietnamese were capable of doing something like that. So then, there's a long, drawn-out history of Southeast Asia. I'll also give you a little background on the movie, a little full circle moment too. And I wish I had the clip, but I can't share it. I was going to share it, but in Hot Sharks Part 2, you'll see Martin Sheen going down the river and Charlie going up the river, and they look at each other and go, oh, what are you doing here? Because see, Charlie was in a movie called Platoon in 1986. So 9 years or however long years after this movie was made, I guess 7 years. So he was in Philippines with his father for that movie before he had the heart attack. So then Charlie Sheen, 7 years later, is back in the Philippines, staying in the same hotel where his dad stayed when they filmed Apocalypse Now, and they filmed a Vietnam movie in the same country.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, think about those two actors being in those two movies that are so iconic, back to back.
And it was just interesting. They had like people's parts were cut down a lot. Some people had their stuff added to. But yeah, here's the original movie poster for this movie, and then here's
awesome.
I think this one's cool too. Just the image
awesome.
of Martin Sheen rising. You know how many times they've copied that? I've seen that in comic books. I've seen that in Schwarzenegger movies. And here's like this is like a production shot. You can see the set behind them. They really filmed in the jungle. Also, the other thing they had to do was they had to get these helicopters from the Filipino government. And they were having struggles with communist rebels at the time. So at a moment's notice, they could be ready to shoot a shot. They'd be like, nope, we need the helicopters. They got to go. And they would fly away and they wouldn't have a shot for the whole day. And then not to mention that Dennis Hopper had probably done enough cocaine to kill like 15 water buffaloes. He probably brought half of Peru with him when he went to this set. And then at one point, he wandered off into the jungle for 2 days and was not seen for 2 days. And even Brando actually tried to kill him once, I think, tried to stab him with a fork or something. That's how much he Dennis Hopper, yeah.
Wow. When you told me he went off for 2 days in the forest, I was like, this guy's my hero, like.
Yeah, I don't know how they thought he was dead. They thought he was dead, But well, I got some clips here now. I can't play a lot of these clips all the way through but what happens is when Martin Sheen if nobody's seen it, they call him in for this mission. He's in a hotel room. I couldn't play any of that scene because he plays like the Jim Morrison song all the way through it.
Okay, yeah.
But he's obviously unhinged and he's been drinking. I guess he's got a lot of pin up like PTSD maybe.
PTSD probably, yeah.
And so when they bring him, they get the two guys show up to get him. He says, "Sir, we're here to pick you up." He goes, "Well, what are the charges? What did I do?" He thinks they're arresting him. So what has he been up to? I mean, he didn't know if he killed somebody or I don't know, was AWOL at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was filmed not far after the Vietnam War. And I'll tell you a funny thing was Coppola and actually George Lucas had this insane idea. They had a studio called Zoetrope Studios. And this was their first movie. But this movie had been thought up like 6 years earlier, and they were going to go to Vietnam. And we're talking in the 1970s. This is when we were still in Vietnam. And they were going to film the movie guerrilla style in Vietnam, which was insane. And they said, and finally somebody, I think his wife said, "Are you crazy? There's a war going on there." So it took a few more years, and they finally got this one done. And he put all of his own money in it. There's a documentary called Hearts of Darkness about the making of this movie. And at one point, you can hear him on video saying, "I ought to just delete myself. Because if this movie's a failure, my whole family's ruined. It would be better if I just took myself out and gave them the insurance
Life
money
insurance,
because they're going to be ruined if this movie goes under." Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. But then again, if there's no risk, there's no reward.
That's
if
true.
he's backing it, he must really believe in it.
It ended up being one of the greatest war films of all time. It was one of the first. There was only a handful of movies about Vietnam out at the time, and at that time, nobody really wanted to talk about this subject. It was like
taboo.
It was like America's dirty little secret. You know what I mean? Like, my dad didn't talk about the war. They were, these guys were coming home and getting spit on and stuff.
Yeah.
Because of our policies, the soldiers took the brunt of that, though. They see a guy in uniform. Oh, yeah, you kill babies.
Yeah.
They just automatically think that's what's going on. Yeah, there's a Harrison Ford cameo in it. The helicopter scenes are amazing. So anyway, they finally get this movie done. And let's see if I can tell you anything else about it. We know the plot already. He's going to kill this guy named Kurtz. Okay, adaptation. This is development, production. All right. Well, no. Anyway, I pretty much covered it all. We just don't need to do it. Mm-hmm. So we're going to play a clip. This is at the first of it when they're they take him into this trailer or wherever outpost. And these generals are in there and the CIA operators. And they play this audio tape they recorded of a radio chatter. And apparently Colonel Kurtz, who was a Green Beret, Special Forces, has went completely off the reservation, and he's out there not taking orders. He's just out there doing whatever he wants, killing people. He's using the same terroristic tactics that the North Vietnamese use. And then you hear this on the radio.
What do you call it when the assassins accuse the assassin? They lie. They lie, and we have to be merciful for those who lie.
And like, it's like when you first hear that, it's a perfect setup for this movie, Stephanie. It's when you hear that tape, you're like, what in the hell is wrong with it? Because it gets worse. Like you hear this clip, you're like, this guy, the cheese is slid off this guy's cracker.
Yeah.
But we must kill them. We must incinerate them. Pig after pig. Cow after cow. Village after village. Army after army.
And then this last one.
Walt Kurtz was one of the most outstanding officers this country's ever produced. He was brilliant. He was outstanding in every way. And he was a good man, too.
So there you go. So what they do is they tell him to go terminate the colonel's command without prejudice. With extreme prejudice, which means in the military lingo, that means we want you to go kill his ass.
Yeah. And he's actually hiding out in Cambodia.
Yeah, he's on the Cambodian border, which you're not even supposed to be in.
Cambodia. Yeah. So he tells the boat guy he's not gonna tell him where they're going, and he and Lance and the chef all go on the boat ride. It seems like forever, that boat ride.
And it was like the boat ride going into hell. It was like they were going into like purgatory. I think that symbolism's not lost because they keep losing guys along the way, and they meet all these characters. It's almost like the Odyssey.
You're right. It's almost like they're going down the Inferno and down.
And it's like they meet Robert Duvall, and Robert Duvall's character. He's on this PT boat, right? But Robert Duvall's character is this guy that just loves war. You can tell. Like he's basically attacking this one village just so they can go surf on the beach.
He definitely is. I think he's a little off, but he's definitely looking at the positive sides of things.
Yeah. And that famous scene, like we saw in the trailer, where he's like, I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can't show you that whole speech, but I used that as a monologue once for an acting class I took.
Did you?
Yeah, and I got most of it memorized. So he's like, I love this. I won't go over that part. He says, I love
this. This is your chance, man. You'll make yourself big. This is amazing.
One time we dropped a hell bomb, and on this hill, the entire hill, we found nothing, not one stinking body. And that smell, that gasoline smell in the air, smelled like victory. And then he pauses and almost like he's sad. He says, someday this war is going to end. And he just walks off like he's so sad that one day he's going to have to go home and be like a normal civilian.
And that's true. I think that's the feeling a lot of soldiers,
Well,
you don't unexpectedly have,
And they're called First of the Ninth. It was the Air Cav unit, and back then an Air Cavalry unit. If you've seen the movie We Were Soldiers once and Young,
I did. Yeah.
Mel Gibson. That's the Air Cavalry. Air Cav were the first military units to incorporate helicopters and do like fast attack. Like they would fly in real quick, land. The guys would get out. They'd have support from the helicopters. So instead of horses, they traded their cavalry horses from the 1900s for helicopters, basically.
Yeah.
And here's kind of a clip where Martin Sheen explains what they.
First of the Ninth was an old cavalry division, and it cashed in its horses for choppers and gone terrassing around Nam looking for the shit. They'd given
Yeah, there you go.
Aaron brought up a good point here. Yeah.
Yeah, like he goes like, and he wakes up in that hotel room before he meets the general. He's like, Saigon. He's like, fuck, I'm still only in Saigon. And he's looking at the ceiling fan, and it sounds like a helicopter when he wakes up.
Yeah.
And he's like, I went back home, and then I had to come back. Hey, Lady F, it's good to see you.
Mhm.
And it's like he keeps getting, and his wife divorced him. It's like he talks about it the first of it. So he's already like, this is what he's doing. And this movie also shows an interesting contrast between the way the North Vietnamese viewed war and the way we did. We'd give them a bunch of art, rest and relaxation. They'd have like Bob Hope and all these people show up. The BC are in the woods or in the jungle just eating rice and rat meat. Survival.
Cold rice and rat meat, right?
Yeah, they don't give a shit. Well, I promise you, coked up Dennis Hopper, you're getting ready to find it. All right. So I got to be careful with some of these clips because they're a little bit long. But here is like when they're planning the attack, they're going to bring the helicopter's going to bring the boat in for them. And Robert Duvall's like, they butter him up by saying, hey, you might be able to surf here. Because he didn't want nothing to do. If you remember when they were when he went into, he's like,
he's like, oh, we gotta do something else.
Yeah.
Before a good peak. There aren't any good peaks in this whole shitty country. It's all goddamn beach break.
It's really hairy in there, sir. That's where we lost McDonald. They shot the hell out of us there. That's Charlie's point.
Sir, we can go in there tomorrow at dawn. There's always a good offshore breeze in the morning.
We may not be able to get the boat in.
And he's like, what's he tell the guy? He's like,
he's manipulating.
Sir, that's pretty hairy in there. He goes, Charlie, don't surf.
That's right. Charlie, don't surf. I love how he's just like, he is unscared of everything.
He don't give a shit.
And therefore just like a crazy enigmatic, leader for everybody to look up to and be like, he's not even going to get hurt.
He kind of thinks he's John Wayne. Yeah, he thinks he's kind of like John Wayne. I like this. This is a little scene where they're getting ready to go on this mission, and they get on the helicopter, and Chef, the character Chef from the boat, he's a Navy guy. Mm-hmm. He's like, he asked them a little question about why do you guys sit on your helmets, and it's kind of funny.
How come all you guys sit on your helmet?
You don't get a ball blown off.
Can you believe that's Lawrence Fishburne? And
I know,
it does not look
like
his profile on that, and it does not look like one.
Yeah, that's a good point too. When there's like mortar fire going around and it blows up, and Duvall's just sitting there, and everybody's like, "Here coming!" and they duck, and he's just standing there like, "What are y'all ducking for?"
Joe? like he has nerves of iron or something, or just steals.
Doesn't really care. And then he plays music when they go into battle. I was worried about playing this clip because he says a word that's kind of a derogatory word.
I wouldn't play it.
But we're going to play it because that's the way they talk.
Oh, okay.
And about a mile out, we'll put on the music. Music? Yeah, I used Wagner. It scares the hell out of the slopes. My boys love it.
Hey, we're going to play music.
Play music. So, I think that was ingenious. I mean,
and it's the guy right here.
Addition.
And what's funny is they're trying to get these guys to surf while there's still artillery shells. Hey, comic book worm. While there's still artillery shells going off around them, and he's trying to get them to surf for him. So, and you'll see one of the guys is like, "Sir, we shouldn't do this."
Well, what do you know about surfing, Major? You're from goddamn New Jersey.
This is what do you know about surfing, Major? You're from goddamn New Jersey. All right. Hey, Damon. Oh, yeah, it's Damon. I forgot that was your name on here, Damon. It's good to see you. And then this clip's too long to play all the way through, but we're going to try to play it as long as we can.
All right.
We can at least hear the famous line.
Smell that? You smell that? Napalm, son. Nothing else in the world smells like that. I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
We can't play the rest of it. But
so, it's so iconic. He's just got balls of steel,
I don't know if we'll get shut down for playing that or not, but we're trying. We're trying our best not to. So anyway, they charge Brando with murder, I think, right? Is that why they went after him? But here's like, and when he's going down the river,
he ordered the assassination of 4 Vietnamese.
Yeah, tax collectors or something. Because they were double agents.
On that,
and then, but when he did it, like enemy activity went down to 0 in those sectors. So he must have been on to something. but they didn't like the way his methods were. He did it without asking. See, in the military, yeah, balls of steel are batshit crazy. Both of them. I think both of them.
Wow.
But I mean, what you find out is like he was doing. See, there's a chain of command in the military, though.
Yeah.
You can't just go up and think something and go do it. Now, sometimes they give Green Berets a little bit more leeway because they're in the field. But yeah, he came in grossly overweight about knowing his lines. They would have stuff written on stuff like they did that in The Godfather. He couldn't remember his lines, and they would have people. He would have cards on the desk so Brando could remember his lines.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing in this movie. They shot him in the dark because he was so overweight he couldn't fit in the Green Beret uniform.
Right.
And,
which I said, it comes off better, I think, but because he's in the dark. And I gotta say, like, I don't think his performance suffers because of his weight or anything. I say,
well, it's kind of
like, why are we faulting the guy for putting on some weight? And then, like, he didn't know his lines, but it sure came off okay. Like,
and the same thing, they had production problems in Jaws with the shark. So you didn't see as much of the shark. So it's the same thing here. Sometimes less is more. Like, this guy is obviously went insane. He's riddled with malaria or something, and he's went insane.
Well, you think he's insane? I think this is what happened. I think he was in war. It was so horrible what the Vietnamese were doing. He thought, that their level of tolerant, horror was at a certain level, and his level was lower, right? He was like, oh my God, he was so horrified by the lengths they would go to horrify the enemy. And he was like, I need to up my game. I need to be up there to even compete with this.
Well, he talks about how they went and inoculated all the children for polio.
Right.
And then the NBA came in like a week later and cut all the inoculated arms off these kids and laid them in a pile. And he said, our guys are not the level of brutality. And this is true about Vietnam. The level of brutality that they had over us was way different. They set up booby traps. They did some outlandish stuff with these booby traps. They had tiger traps. You have big pungy sticks where they just take bamboo and sharpen off points, and they would cover it up in the jungle, and these guys would step on it. And they would not only have these points, they would rub feces on it. So when you stepped on it, you're automatically getting an infection.
Get an infection?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do they say? It's all fair. It's all fair in love and war. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, it's you're playing for your life. So you're going to pull out every trick you can if you think about it. So,
and like we were saying about it getting crazier, like they run into this. I didn't really get a big clip of it because they played music in it, and they run in the middle of this. They run into some Playboy bunnies doing a USO show right in the middle of the jungle. Like, it's just so weird. Like, it's surreal.
This sure enough is a bizarre sight in the middle of this shit.
And he's like he says, it's a bizarre sight. And now, here's another part where he's going down the river learning more about Colonel Kurtz.
As for the charges against me, I am unconcerned.
Medevac, come in.
I am beyond on their timid, lying morality. And so I am beyond caring.
Medevac, do you?
And you see the further they get down, you see crashed helicopters burning in trees. They see they get attacked later on by these people throwing spears. And that's when the chief, the guy that's the head of the boat, gets killed. And we got that clip, which is I hated that part.
Okay.
I hated when Lawrence Fishburne died too.
A spear.
And but they slowly start dying off. The only one that survives is the end of Sam Bottom's character and Martin Sheen. The little hippie guy, the little surfer guy survives.
Lance.
I hated it when he killed Chef. He killed him, cut his head off, man, and he throws it out in Martin Sheen's lap.
Yeah, but you know something? I really like Lance because I like the fact that he stole Robert Duvall's surfboard. And
I know.
And at the last minute, and just like improvise and just like, I'm just gonna take this on, with me because there's not one on here. And then he comes after it. And he's like, I'm not gonna tell anybody you took my surfboard.
Yeah, the movie title is very apropos. Yeah, it's got a fever dream to it for sure, Carolyn.
Especially the part afterwards when they're hanging out with the buddies.
And they got like when he catches him, and they're like, okay, here's where we're getting to. I promised some coked up Dennis Hopper, and here you go.
Okay.
This is when they first find where Colonel Kurtz is camped up, his camp's at.
There's mines over there, mines over
And watch out, those goddamn monkeys bite you, I'll tell you.
Monkeys bite, I tell you. There's mines over here, and you can see he's got bodies like hanging in trees. You'll see decapitated heads. He's just like sending a message. They're like, we don't mess around up here. And here's another one, and I can't play it all. It's like a 30-second clip, but we'll play just a little snippet.
You're looking at the heads. Sometimes he goes too far, you know. And he's the first one to admit it.
He's going crazy.
Well,
See how they're all obsessed with it, though? Even the journalist, played by Hopper, he's the photojournalist. And they're all like his acolytes. You know what I mean? They're like his disciples now. He's like, they think he's this great, brilliant guy. They've all went crazy out here. They've been here in the jungle without taking any orders. It's kind of like the Lord of the Flies. Remember when you're not in civilization, civility falls apart. People fall apart. And that's just the way it is. And here's where they capture Sheen. He's got him in one of them little tiger cages that they used to keep POWs in. So he's obviously copying what the Vietnamese did.
he likes you because you're still alive. He's got plans for you.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
Eyes. What are they going to say about him? What are they going to say? He was a kind man. He was a wise man. He had plans. He had wisdom. Bullshit, man. Am I going to be?
Bullshit, man.
Yeah, that's when it really comes off. That was a good. I mean,
yeah, it's like one man's slow slip into insanity, and I mean, like at the end of Marlon Brando actually wants him to kill him.
Yeah, because he's miserable.
He just wanted to die like a soldier's death. He didn't want.
Yeah, and he's like, just I wish somebody would just go tell my kin or whatever that I, tell them this story of how I came to this position, basically.
Yeah. And see, another thing you don't know about him, he was like groomed to be like a joint chief of staff type guy in the Pentagon. He retired his commission and joined the Green Berets when he was like 37. Which is insane because those guys
is really old for the military. You're almost getting ready to retire.
Really old for a Green Beret for sure. Because those guys were young men usually. But so it's getting close to the end, and like he captures him, but then he lets him go, and he's like reading poetry to him and stuff, like and stuff like that. Like, and Brando has been like doing these radio broadcasts, so you can kind of catch on. He's been like every now and then randomly, and I can't play all this one either, but I'm gonna. I can play this one because this one's cool. This is where he's like, Martin Sheen's talking about what's going to happen after this. He's like, they're probably going to promote me for this. I don't even give a shit.
They were going to make me a major for this, and I wasn't even in their fucking army anymore.
I got a kitty cat over here wanting to get petted on while we're.
Oh.
And then here's a broadcast. Like he's doing, like I can't play off.
We train young men to drop fire on people, but their commanders won't allow them to write fuck.
And then after he kills him, like one of the most famous lines in the movie is like the last thing you hear anybody say.
I'd never seen a man so broken up and ripped apart.
I've seen horrors that you've seen.
He says the horror.
The horror, yeah. And I mean, I use that line all the time now in my day-to-day life. I mean,
I do all the time. Well, I
like
don't know.
what Aaron says here, the portrayal of the human condition in the Playboy Bunny it's shown how psychologically broken they are too. I completely agree with that. That's they're like all the bunnies, are you find out under the layers they're really just really messed up human beings.
Yeah, they got problems too.
Yeah.
It was almost I mean, like nowadays where everybody's got the Netflix and the YouTube and TikTok. I call it. They think it's too long, but I mean, this movie is. If you think that was long, watch the Redux version. It's like 4.5 hours long. And I like the original version because it's just you're in there and out.
Yeah.
It's still long, but we forgot about the scene. I couldn't find a thing about.
Did you ever one of the chefs getting mangoes?
Yeah, remember they go and he tries to get the fresh mangoes and he runs into a tiger. He's like the fucking tiger.
Awesome. And then he goes crazy and starts ripping off all his clothes in the boat.
And another scene that's very emotional to me is, and this kind of is like a metaphor for the entire Vietnam War experience for our country and the Vietnamese people. They're on the river and like he's like, we're going to pull this boat over. They might be carrying weapons, so they get in there and the girl's trying to hide her little puppy, and they think she's reaching for a grenade and they just light the entire boat up.
Actually, Lawrence Fishburne lights that whole boat
well,
up.
then when he does it causes a chain reaction.
To town on.
And this is what happens a lot in a firefight. If one person fires, it starts a chain reaction, and they all start firing.
Mm-hmm.
And so the girl's sitting there, and she's like, she's been shot, obviously sucking chest wound, probably hitting her lung, probably got blood going in her lungs. She ain't got long.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, call a medevac after they've done this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Martin Sheen just goes over there and shoots her and says, I told you not to stop the fucking boat.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And he says, that's what our mentality was.
And then afterwards, he's like, these boys are never going to look at me the same again.
Yeah. And he's like, but this is their mentality. Remember what he says? Shoot them full of holes and then call a medic.
Yeah.
Like shoot first, ask questions later. Like, and then they take the puppy, and the puppy is like almost a symbolism of this horrible act, and then but
it's also a symbolism of like, it's just a reminder of home and like, it's going to be comforting. And this is like the most comforting like memory of home they have.
Kilter Corey's right. It would take 5 seasons on Hulu if they filmed it now. And we got the overall cinematography is amazing. It was released
Yes.
Yeah. It's a timeless film. Like, and the use of the song "The End" by the Doors.
Yeah.
It kind of sums up what it must be like to be in combat like that. And like a lot of the things you see in this movie, these guys are desensitized towards what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because you've been over there so long, and my dad told me it was hard to know how to act when you came back. It was almost like you were feral or something.
Yeah. I think I think what happens is the soldiers get so used to being on point and have adrenaline going through them that they have to be on alert all the time, that they come home and they're like bored. They're like, nothing's going on here.
I think this one here kind of sums it up when they go, remember when they go, they're looking for fuel and they go to that place and it's like their soldiers are all in a firefight and you can hear these like BC guy up there going, fuck you, GI. They're like, where's he at? And you can hear him like in the distance, you hear it, and he fires that single shot, that black soldier, with that grenade launcher, and hits him. And then Martin Sheen's looking for their commanding officer. He's like, do you know who's in charge? And this is just kind of shows you like there's nobody in charge here, because this soldier tells him,
hey, soldier. Do you know who's in command here?
Yeah.
and he walks off. It's all he says to him is, yeah. And he walks off like, you know who's in charge here? The devil is in charge here.
Yeah.
That's the way I felt about it.
I felt like that dude looked like he was on some really.
Yeah. Well, then, he had that great 1,000-yard stare kind of thing they call it. Yeah. And like, there's a quote from Rambo. I'm glad you brought that up. He says, you can't just turn it off like a switch.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys had a lot of struggles coming back.
Yeah, because they've been trained for so long to survive and be like that. So they
desensitize you towards violence and they indoctrinate you. That's what the military does. Mm-hmm. It's indoctrination is what it is.
Yeah.
Because like some of the stuff they make you say. I mean, we've seen the movie Full Metal Jacket. He's like,
that's what we should do. We should do that one actually too.
We're going to do that too. But what's he say? He goes stuff like, what does the Marine do? He says, kill, kill, kill. What makes the grass grow? Blood, blood, blood. That's what he had him yell.
Yeah.
So, and they sleep with their gun. That's no joke. My dad told me about that when he was at Camp Pendleton in San Diego. They sleep with their gun when they get issued guns. They have to sleep with it.
Well, you're
So
training people to go out there and shoot other people in the face.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to toughen
you know,
them up and make them like,
yeah. And
yeah,
there's
these
another,
orders are life and death. Every order I have to obey, you know?
and a lot of these kids, like you hear in the movie, like, this kid looked like he'd never even seen a gun. My dad met people like that. My dad's from Kentucky, though. So he'd seen a gun before. He'd been shooting since he was a little kid. But he said some of those boys had never even held a gun in their hand when they were in basic training. You could tell. So they have to do that to train you.
Yeah. I'm sure that's kind of the case with all the wars, though. The young, testosterone-filled kids are ready to go out and fight.
That's why I don't like when they
about their age.
All they do is they send the poor people over here to fight for what these rich people want them to do. And especially when it's a war, it's unjust. Now, it's one thing if it's like, okay, like World War II. Okay, we got these guys, they're Nazis. We have to stop them or they're going to destroy the world. But like this one here was the Vietnam War. It was kind of like a gray area. Like, okay, we're trying to stop communism, but do we really have to butt our nose in everywhere? Because should we let these people just do what they're doing? Or we're just, because we didn't go in there because we were worried about the South Vietnamese becoming communist. We were worried about communism having a spread globally because it was all about the Cold War, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to make a political statement, but like the longer it went, the worse people thought of it. You know what I mean? Like when we first went in, everybody's like, yeah, USA, or whatever, right? And we were trying to go in and clean the mess the French had back when they colonized this place. And then we ended up going in there and like we turned back half the population against us because of our tactics. And
nobody wanted to be there.
We couldn't trust anybody.
Yeah.
And they couldn't trust us. Like it was okay in the cities. Yeah, this is the good cinema one. We're doing. I don't know why the background changed though. I'm kind of pissed about that. But
did it? Oh yeah, it did.
Okay, here you go. There we go. That's better. All right. I don't know how that changed. But anyway, this war was very complicated. It was a war that was on public. And like a lot of the stuff that you don't see now is like you would actually see dead soldiers on evening news. They don't show that anymore. But back then they were just embedded. They didn't tell you what you could say. And I guess the military learned their lesson because in the Gulf War and in the war against terror, they embedded journalists in the military, but they didn't let them release everything. But back then they would show body bags going on planes, going home, and like entire neighborhoods would lose all their young men, would be dead.
That's horrible.
And a lot of these guys, they're drafting people that didn't want to go. So it started to take a turn after the Tet Offensive when they saw, whoa, okay, even Walter Cronkite, who was considered the most trusted man in journalism at the time, which you can't really say that about anybody these days. But back then, Walter Cronkite was like, he was this guy that everybody knew. There wasn't like 10,000 cable news channels, right?
Right.
So when Walter Cronkite came out and said, this war is unwinnable, we need to figure out a way out of here. Everybody's like,
so respected. Yeah. Everyone.
Like, oh, shit. Walter Cronkite said that. Oh, and see, even Lyndon Johnson, the president at the time, when he saw that broadcast, he said, well, we lost him. We've lost everybody. Cronkite had the best. I don't know about all that, but yeah, he was a good reporter. He was trusted back then, although now I think with all the internet, it's like, nobody trusts the press, although you probably never should have trusted them, but whatever. I make my own decision. You make your own decision. This is not a political show.
Well, if we're going to talk about that, I would say like just the amount of media, we have to respect, it has to be so, it has to go back to a really reputable place, the media, so that the people trust everything the media is telling them, like, oh, this might be the truth of what they're saying, but right now it's so up in the air.
I'm going to show a couple more shots. Well, we're going to do this I know we do the wing. Oh, yeah. I know. I want to know, but we're going to give our thoughts.
Okay, yeah, let's do the wings.
We don't do the wings for this one because that's for bad cinema. So
All right.
In honor
What
of
are we doing
Siskel
instead?
and Ebert, we'll just give it thumbs up. And I give this movie 2 thumbs up.
I mean, I don't know how you can not give it 2 thumbs up. Of course, my God. I mean, the only thing I could say about this movie is that it is a little long. The boat ride down to insanity, down to the inferno, down to hell is a little long, and you feel like you're really in there. Then you really feel like, man, I'm in this fucking boat. You know, you kind of get that vibe because you've been in the movie with them for so long. But
And
yeah.
Before we open the mail, I do want to say thank you for everybody for watching what we did. I know we're not done yet. We're going to be here, but I just want to remind you that on Monday, Bad Cinema will be reviewing the movie Invasion USA, starring the one and only Chuck Norris. And for the next episode of Good Cinema on Thursdays at noon Eastern, we're going to be reviewing the Steven Spielberg classic Jaws. So you want to stay tuned for that. It's going to be a fun time. And I got a lot of other stuff, but I'm only going to advertise that for now. But Stephanie wanted to open something while we're live on stream.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let her do that right now.
Okay. Thank you so much, man. I thought we were going to have dueling openings.
We are. I got mine right here. I did already open it. I cheated, but
I didn't. I am a big advocate of not opening it beforehand and having the expression of surprise be real for the
I
audience.
can't wait. I'm the kind of kid at during Christmas time, I would open the presents and look at them and then wrap them back up. So
yeah, that's hilarious. Can't wait. All right, this is from Naman, and he has a big letter here. He picked out 4 sketch comic covers for me. Almost all 4 covers can be filled with strong female characters from respective comic series. I thought they'd be fitting for Madam. Okay. All right. For instance, the book is a reprint of Poison Ivy's first appearance. And Batman could never be filled with the Poison Ivy books. Okay. And you know how I feel about your Poison Ivy drawing. Not Term 30 cover might interest you because she is a pretty trippy character. Talk about trippy. Drawing Erica Slaughter from Something is Killing the Children might be fun for you as well. Think about blood splatters, a lot of it. I like that. Well, the Wonder Woman cover should be self-explanatory. However, you are if ambitious enough to do a background for her, I would imagine Athena in her pantheon. Well, have a fun and whatever you do. Decide to put on those covers. I can't wait. Thanks for all your patience. Blah, blah, blah. AK Nam.
Well, that's sweet.
Man. I can't wait. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have this one here. Oh, I have this one here to do.
Oh, that's going to be good. That'll
Yeah.
be a good one.
This is a drawing he did of a sketch of me on as Lucy.
Oh, yeah. I recognize it. Yeah.
So he did that. That's amazing, Nama. Thank you so much. And he signed it for me.
Damon's a good artist.
Did fabulous. Fabulous. I know he was concerned about his art skills and everything, and I think you don't have anything to be worried about.
No, I don't think you
This
do.
is amazing. This is amazing. That's awesome. I can't wait. There's a Batman cover to do, and Something is Killing the Children. This is where Erica Slaughter is, right?
Yeah, Erica Slaughter. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not really familiar with her.
Type in like Something's Killing the Children, Erica Slaughter in Google, you'll find a lot of cool. Jenny Prison did a lot of Something's Killing Children.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I picture.
Me too.
Okay, and I have one more from Eddie the Comic Guy.
Hey, I'm one of us.
Thank you so much, man. I'll have to make some cool stuff on it. Okay. This is Eddie the Comic Guy. Eddie, this is very nice. It has tabs on it. He was really working on some. Thank you so much, Naman. I will. Eddie was working on these little cards, sketch cards, in the chat, and I was commenting how much I really love this one, and he said he would send it along. So I am going to try to open it up here. Anyway, there we go. It's like double-sided pull tabs for extra support.
Yeah, I like when they do that.
Yeah, so good. I was admiring this. Okay.
Oh, it's Vampirella.
Yeah.
I love it.
Isn't it cute?
Yes.
It's so well done. I freaking love it.
That's great. I love it.
and he does a bunch of different characters. And yeah, I thought this one was amazing. Sent me a sticker too on there. So Eddie the comic guy. Oh, it's a sticker. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I saw him on Instagram. He's in the artist group. And yeah, thank you so much, Eddie. This is awesome. I'm going to cherish this stuff. And I'm going to get to work on these covers. I was just thinking how I wanted to do some drawing soon. So this is great.
There you go. You're ready to go. Awesome stuff. I can't wait to see what you do with the blank covers.
I know. I love blank colors. It's just asking to be filled with something.
All right. You got anything else?
No, that's it.
Oh, I love it. All right. Well, I opened mine already because I cheated.
Cheater.
But I got this from West Coast Avengers claim sale a couple weeks ago. It's Captain America 332.
That's a great one. I love that cover.
Yeah. You got Abe Lincoln on it too. Yeah, this is when he quit. And the next issue, it's like a whole issue set run I got. This is when we're like, who will be the next Captain America? Can you see Stan Lee back there in the back? Look.
Yes, I can. That's awesome.
So that's when they had
I've never
John
seen that
Walker.
one before.
Huh?
I've never seen that one before. Who drew that one?
Yeah. That's when John Walker becomes Captain America. And then this one right here is
who drew that one?
The new who drew it, Mike Zeck.
Okay.
Mike Zeck did that one and the one before where it's like Captain America No More.
That one's better. That one's cool.
Yeah, it's way cooler. And this is like the new Captain America and his new Bucky. They kind of did this in that movie, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah, Killer Korg. And here's the return of him, John Walker, U.S. agent. This is 354. And I got some early Todd McFarlane before he was before Amazing Spider-Man, before he did anything. Well, he'd done one thing at Marvel, then he quit, went to DC. This is when he was at DC. Mm-hmm. And it's from a book called Infinity. This is issue 36. This is early Todd McFarlane. You see his name on the side there? That's before he used the scroll.
Yeah.
So this is early. This is 35? Yeah, 35.
Awesome. Is that worth a lot of money then because he did that?
I mean, it's worth a little bit just because it's, McFarlane. They're not worth that much. I paid $5 for them. This one's Infinity 37. That's another Todd.
Oh, I like the background in that one.
Yeah, I got all that. Yeah, I like that too. But that's like, you can tell came a long way since then. But
yeah.
And then the last one I got, I just got this because it was hilarious. And you remember how Bugs Bunny used to dress up like a girl bunny? The full Daffy?
Yes.
Well, I got Aquaman 46 here. He's like, yoo-hoo, Sailor Boy.
I can't. Those things just don't go together in my mind.
I know, it's so weird. It's so weird. I had to get it. You know what I mean?
It's like the Jessica Rabbit movie. Like it was an interesting movie, but I couldn't just get over like the cartoon and realism. I don't know.
And he threw it
together.
And look at the cool sticker he bought me. He sent me. See Todd, by Todd. It's Todd McFarlane.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that's a cool
and Todd
sticker.
is so good at lettering. He writes like a girl in 5th grade. He's writing down her new married name.
Yeah, in her journal.
5 times,
But see, I say this all the time. If anybody wonders where I got it from, it's West Coast Dave. at West Coast Adventures. He's from well, I can't give his address obviously, but he's from Tacoma, Washington, and really good guy. I know I say it a lot because I mean it. See Todd, buy Todd. Now I need one about George Perez that says see Perez, purchase Perez. That'd be pretty cool. So, but this one, and then, he's got the scroll because Todd likes to use the scroll when he signs something. So
He does. That's cool. I didn't know that.
That's cool. I'll give you an example if I can find it.
The signature.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I mean. I'll show you what I mean. If I can find one, now I can't find one.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's not exactly how he does it. I'll get the spawn. Yeah, this is a good example. You can barely see it, but see how it says McFarland.
Yeah, I can see it all pretty down there.
Purdy writing. He's got that Purdy writing is what we say right here. Yeah, he does claim sales every other Wednesday. Not this Wednesday. He didn't do one, but he's going to do one next Wednesday. And he also does like a podcast called a Direct Edition. I got a mail call video coming out, and I'll have the links in the description for it. I pre-recorded it before. That's why I did it, because I need content, Stephanie. I thought I still show it here, but I was like, I got to see what's in there. I was excited too for the Bugs Bunny. I just thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
I have a weird sense of humor, I guess, but I collect all the Looney Tunes stuff. Like I got one that's like Batman and Elmer Fudd teamed up together.
I can't wrap my mind around that and make it work.
They did a lot of those. I can't remember all exactly what they did, but yeah, there's a lot of and like, what's this link for? What about? Okay, well, everybody remember this one. There's a lot of YouTubers in the Pacific Northwest, in Oregon and Washington. I know, like Aaron is in Washington State. I think is it Sleepy Reader? He's in Oregon. I think Travis Comics of Bueller is from Oregon.
He's over there too.
Comic Tom is in the Seattle area, and Comic Tropes is in Washington State. And I think Tats Comics, is he in Oregon? I think he's in Oregon. Anyway, there's a lot of them. But kind of like that's like the Pacific Northwest comic crew.
That's cool.
Okay.
I've heard of Comic Tom a lot, and I don't think I've ever he does claim sales or something, right? Or he's always selling stuff.
He does stuff at Whatnot, and he sells like exclusive for his mystery boxes, which I don't buy a mystery box.
Oh.
He's kind of a lot of people don't like him, but he's all right. He's all right. Did you see my Purdy cover I got? Look at this one.
Which one? No. Can you put it closer? It's cool.
And
that's nice.
I got some stuff signed. Did I show you that?
No.
From Mark Spears.
Yeah. That's awesome. Nice. Nice. That's an insanely good one. I love that cover. Oh my God.
And he signed this one. He signed that one for me.
I've seen that one before. Yes. Okay. Yep.
I'll just show you.
Crazy good. Crazy good.
And he signed my Vampirella, which is a beautiful one where she got the pit.
Oh, I know. This is
werewolves.
Awesome. Yeah.
Not that one. He didn't sign that one. Then Night of the Living Dead. He signed 2 for free.
Really?
Which I thought was cool. He didn't have to do that.
How much? Do you mind me asking how much he was charging for a signature?
$20
to sign it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I was proud of it. I got to meet him. He's a very nice guy. He gave me that Megatron comic. Oh, I got a cold, everybody. I'm struggling. So he gave me this one for free because I didn't have enough money.
That's awesome.
He said,
That's awesome. What a sweet guy. Just, you know what I mean? Like, just that gesture
Yeah, I know.
is telling of his personality. Do you know what I mean? You got a little something special.
We need to have a YouTube comic book people Rolodex, so we know what everybody's doing, where they're from.
Yeah.
That's why I do my comic conversations, though, is so we get to know people from other states, sometimes other countries, you know.
Yeah.
And you get to see what other people think. That's why, you know, me and Madam had a good time on the last one that she was on. I'm sure I'll have her back on there.
You mean talking about Lady Fantastic?
Oh, yeah, that was great. We even talked about our favorite curse words. So if you've not watched that one, go back and watch it, because she has the interesting take. I'm not going to repeat what she said. So my mom's around here somewhere.
Okay, I won't either.
All right. And then, but also next Tuesday, this Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, my guest for the next episode of that show will be Justin Birch Letters.
Justin Birch. That looks kind of like him.
Yeah, well, that was the picture on his YouTube channel. So,
okay, I was
what he got. And then my show, we got a show tonight at 7. Madam, if you or anybody else wants to come on, send me a message on IG, or I'll probably send you the link. It's the Comic Lounge.
Cool.
Just hang out. I'm proud of that thumbnail for some reason.
That's amazing. It looks really cool. It's like a Star Wars lounge or something, doesn't it?
Yep. So we got that going on, and there's a claim sale tomorrow at 7 p.m. We can plan road trips around. Yeah, that would be great, Derek.
Yeah, you should put up a big map of the United States, and then put little pinpricks on it where everybody is.
Yeah.
You can have a visual.
Derek, I didn't know if you saw it, but I finally got one of those stickers from Dave. But here, yeah, you got it. But guys, you got it. If you're not following, I put this one on my box, West Coast Adventures. Super nice guy. And yep. But yeah, the Mark Spears thing was so fun. Like, we'll see Bruce from Kingdom of Nerds. He told him I was coming down there. My good friend's coming down there. So, you know, he said, all right. He says, I'll hook him up. And his wife was with him. It's lovely that his wife does the business thing.
What do you mean?
He does have, she's the one that does handles the money while he's
signing. Oh yeah. Oh, that's nice when someone can do that.
Yeah. She's super sweet too.
Oh, I know, man. Thank you so much, Naman. I am gonna treasure this. This is not going anywhere. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to have a piece of your artwork.
So I got should we ask them? Does anybody have any suggestions for upcoming episodes of good cinema or bad cinema?
Ooh, good question.
Because I have a couple of thoughts on bad cinema, and we got Jaws, but I was thinking about, and I'll ask you too, Madam, while you're here. I'm trying to think of more good cinema movies. So I was thinking like Taxi Driver, maybe, or Chinatown.
Those are two I'm not familiar with really. That I mean, I can think of like scenes from Taxi Driver. Do you know what I mean? But I can't remember like the whole.
Now, should we do movies like golden era movies, like Gone with the Wind, or something like that? Or
okay, Gone with the Wind. First of all, is my favorite movie. I'm a big fan of Gone with the Wind. I read the book in its entirety when I had mono, and I was like 13. And after I read the book, I was still stuck at home, and my parents came home and they brought me the video of Gone with the Wind, the VHS tape. And I was like, this is amazing, right? I put it in. It's just like the book. I freaking love it. It's amazing. And then it ends halfway through.
Oh, no.
And I am like almost livid. I'm like, oh my God, I need to watch the rest of this right away. I don't know what happened. Like maybe they forgot, and then I finally find like there's the other disc. It's like,
oh, you're freaking out.
It was so long. They had to put it on 2 discs. Yeah, 2 tapes. And then I was like, oh my God.
Like that, or like, you know, Casablanca or something like that, or a Hitchcock movie like Psycho.
I've never seen Casablanca. Ever.
I'm telling you what. I think it's good. I don't know. It's Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. Yeah. And then like, I mean, we could do movies like E.T. Obviously was a good movie.
E.T. was resonated with me because I was young when it came out, you know.
Me too.
And I kind of looked like Drew Barrymore as a child when I was younger. So that's kind of yeah. And I had a brother who was about the same age, you know, who was a little older than me at the time. Reminded me of that too.
It's a good movie. And like we could also do Raiders of the Lost Ark, maybe a Star Wars movie. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
But that's in the future. Next week we're doing Jaws, so that's gonna be fun.
Okay. Jaws sounds good. I'm sorry. What did you say?
We're gonna sign off. I guess.
Okay. Are we gonna rate this movie? We got 2 thumbs up, 4 thumbs up.
I'd give it 4 if I had 2 more arms.
Right.
So yeah, go if you've not watched this movie. First of all, what's wrong with you? But anyway,
yeah.
If you haven't
Where
watched
have you been? What rock are you living under? You need to be. Yeah. You need to watch this movie so you're prepared for interaction with society.
Yeah. Do more art, you Philistines. All right. Anyway, everybody, be good. I think we're going to sign off from now. But until next time, true believers, Excelsior.
Come, son of Jarrell! Kneel before Zod! Snoochie boochies.